Alright, so we are off to find the true, real, bona fide history of Rivet City. That's what we're after. Okay, now we've done some pretty good footwork up to this point already. We've talked to like doctors and techs and stuff and gotten holotapes and even passed a speech check with Maura Brown to get the real deal on who was behind the whole A321 Android thing, right? And then we're going to pass a few more speech checks here to get the real deal on Rivet City's history, and that should open up all the dialogue we need to get the true story from Pinkerton, which is what we're really after.
Decided to check out the shop, eh? If you want any of this shit, just holler. Need to do some killing, eh?
Okay, now Pinkerton will be an old man that lives in the back end of the ship. All right, we will head there shortly. Like I say, we have to talk to a few more people here. And I think a lot of this opens up dialogue options with him that if you don't go through all the steps, they just won't be there.
Boy? Yeah, I've heard of him. Supposedly built Rivet City. They probably think he invented bread, too. Idiots. Lately, he's even been blamed for the noises in the broken ship bow. Anyone with half a brain would know that's just the Mirelurks. Try the muddy rudder. They don't ask too many questions down on the lower deck. Fred, I can't help you, pal. Been here for years, but all I know about the history is that it's a safe place to settle down. Maybe Bannon can help you out. He sure acts like he knows it all.
Yeah, he does. Alright, so he doesn't know anything about the history, but he's real quick to brush off Pinkerton. So apparently Pinkerton has been elbowed out of their little society here, which we'll see is actually the case. But first we have this guy.
Welcome to Potomac Attire. I am Bannon, proprietor and city council member. I carry discriminating attire for discriminating customers.
Arrogant, pompous ass.
Between you and me, keeping out the riffraff is good for business. Why, I practically set this whole place up. When I got here 12 years ago, it was just a handful of dead-enders squatting in a rusted-out rowboat. Now I'm on the council, and with my leadership, we're the strongest settlement in the wastes. Of course, a few of those dead-enders still stick around, but who'd want to leave? Well, yes, but it was hardly any place of importance until I arrived on the scene. That's all ancient history now. No one would ever care about it. If you insist on wasting your time on that, you could try that bartending old crone down below, Belle Bonnie. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Never met the man myself, but rumor has it he helped found Rivet City. Some rumors say he died trying to loot the broken bow of the ship. Others say he joined up with the Enclave. Come back soon.
Alright, this dude. If he was in Skyrim, he'd be in the Cloud District, asking you if you've ever been to the Cloud District. Oh, what am I saying? Of course not. That's who he would be. That's who he reminds me of. Anyway, alright, so we'll go talk to Belle Bonnie, and she'll give us another speech check. I don't know that passing all of them is necessarily mandatory, but I'm going to make sure we go ahead and do that.
Hello, ma'am.
Actually, a lot of people here have funny stuff to say when you pass them anyway, so it's kind of worth doing, but I'll try to make the most out of this playthrough if I can. And this will be pretty much the last stop, then we can go talk to Pinkerton. As long as we passed all these speech checks, then, like I say, he should have all of his dialogue open so we can get a holotape of the true Rivet City history and get some background on the A321 Android. The real background, the whole nitty-gritty, so we can get all of our rewards and all that stuff. So, there's one person I'm looking for before we talk to Bill. I think that's her right there. Okay, this is one of my favorite lines in the game.
Just what this hole needs, another woman. Either buy me a drink or take your skanky ass somewhere else. I guess you're okay. Thanks for the drink. Can't help you with the history, honey. Don't let me stop you.
Either buy me a drink or get your a skanky ass somewhere else. All right. I like Trini. I don't care. I like Trini.
I'm Belle Bonnie, and this is the Muddy Rudder. I'll tell you what I tell all the fresh meat. Don't start anything down here, or I'll have Brock kick your ass. You must be drunk. Are you gonna order or what? Go talk to Vera if you want gossip. I don't talk bad about folks. What a moron. Always going on about how he started Rivet City. Who gives a crap? Right before he disappeared, he was going on about some newfangled contraption he was sure was in the broken bow of the ship. History? What, not enough shit around here already? You need to dig up more? Don't know if it ever had an official start. It's just been here forever. Stuck in the river and full of assholes. No, I can't fucking well share one. What sort of moron are you? But fine. If it'll get you out of my face, go down to Pinkerton's shed in the broken off bow of the ship. If he decides to give you a history lesson, it's no business of mine. Now get the hell out of my bar.
She's pretty rough around the edges. I can see her smoking cigars, drinking hard whiskey, getting in fist fights, and of course telling people to piss off. Of course.
What do you have? Whiskey and water. Don't light on the
But on the same note, she doesn't seem to be that bad. She's not a
Yes?
rumor whore, gossip monger, this and that, busybody or any of that. She's just down there minding her own business, tending to her bar. Dealing with the less desirables of Rivet City society, I imagine. Alright, not exactly sure what her whole story is, but okay, so that should be what we need. Alright, so now it's time to head back here. This is my quickest route to the broken bow of the ship. One of the first things we're going to do is open that back door that's got, from this side, it's 100 lockpick to get through it. But from the inside, you can flip a switch and unlock the door from inside. And then you can come back and, go back and forth all you want without having to run this gauntlet right here. Holding your breath and fighting off mirelurks and all this annoying stuff. Now down here in the lower flooded section, I'm not sure if there's some loot that I'm missing. I've always thought maybe there would be some book hidden off to the side that would be like real dangerous trying to get. You'd almost drown trying to get it type of thing or something, but never actually found anything I could interact with. I've looked around down here before, but yeah, just never really found anything. I don't know, I'm sure I'm missing something. In Fallout, just like Oblivion or Skyrim, if there's a place to hide something, you can pretty much bet that there's something hidden there. There's a corner off out of the way somewhere, there's probably something sitting in it. Some unique weapon or something. So we should have a couple mirelurks here. Good deal. Yeah, looks like he's stuck on the table. I'm cool with that. You'll see the spread on the shotgun pellets. Pretty severe with the shotgun. You get him, dog meat. You get him. Good boy. Alright, now right here at the top of these stairs, that leads to Pinkerton, and then back here, not only their ammo crates and like a scope 44 that's like always on this table. It's pretty cool. But be careful, this mine, if it goes off, it can and will set off the gas that's in this hallway here. And I don't know if it necessarily insta-kill you down here in this room at the end, probably. But if you're in that tunnel, any kind of explosion, like right here, you can see the fumes in the air. There's also a tripwire coming up here that drops a bouquet of grenades, which is, well, if you can disarm it, it's great to have, but it's not cool to get caught in this tunnel. I've never personally survived it when I've accidentally tripped this crap. Sometimes I trip it trying to disarm it. It'll make me take like 3 steps forward when I'm not trying to, and yeah. It's usually too late to get on the other side of a door. If you try to duck in this one, well, guess what? You got this pressure plate here. I don't think these shotguns that it triggers can necessarily light this thing on fire. I guess there's a chance. So you don't want anything setting off this gas, seriously. Alright, I think I'm high enough to where a Mentats ought to be able to just put me over. I don't really care about the disarming or the XP, but I want the shotguns to repair the shotgun I already have. That's free repairs right there, as far as I'm concerned. That's a lot of good stuff. Alright, I'll take it, definitely. Find this grenade bouquet, too. There it is. Right there. Alright, so I think that gives you like 3 grenades? Something like that. Yep. Alright, one more switch. That opens Pinkerton's door. I don't think I have a high enough skill to disarm this. Don't know if that'll set off the gas. Possible. Alright, so here's Pinkerton's little spot. Kind of curious exactly what he had back here. Well, we find out he's the one that did the reconstructive surgery on the android, right? I mean, that's of course why we're back here, to talk to him about that. So apparently the tools and the means to do so were also back here or something. Maybe it was something else entirely, I don't know. We're going to get a history, and also he's going to say something, and he's got quite a bit of dialogue. I'll try to save it till he's done talking, but he says something that gives me well, some questions regarding some background on not only Dad, you know, James, but also maybe Dr. Lee, and you're gonna hear things which, if you're familiar with the you know, Fallout 4 and the whole, you know, Boston thing and the Institute and the rumors surrounding all that, some of these things might actually have some real significance, right? So anyway, you might want to listen to what he talks about, and then I'll share with you a little clue that I got from him.
I suppose you can't be all that bad if you made it this far without dying. This is the part where you tell me what the hell you are doing bothering an old man who obviously wants to be left alone. Get on with it already. What are you talking about, girl? I don't know anything about any of that. And, what did you call it? An android? What's that? Fine, whatever. This android calls himself Harkness now. Comes in and wants a memory job. I took new memories and replaced his old ones. Don't believe anyone's done that before. Certainly not down here. That Commonwealth tech isn't all that fancy when it comes down to it. I'm also the only one in the wasteland with the skill and the nerve to perform facial surgery. That android flesh ain't so different than ours. You want proof? I documented the whole thing, so I could rub it in the face of Dr. Lee when I need to rankle her feathers. I hate that snooty bitch. You're damn right she's a bitch. Ruined my whole goddamn life. But I can see you don't give a crap about any of that. Fine. It's all in my computer. Here's the password. See for yourself. Hell, just take these pictures and this holotape. Straight from the synth man's lips. Just don't go telling Harkness, though. He won't believe you anyway. And you really don't want to see him upset. He can be a bit inhospitable.
Okay, I think the option to get the code word to make Harkness reveal his true memories.
Oh, all right. So maybe
There,
I
that
didn't
one right
wipe his
there.
mind like he asked, but I buried it deep. Almost as good, really. But it's still there, still accessible. All you need to do is use the recall code. Just say to him, activate A321 recall code Violet, and that will activate the hidden subroutines.
Yeah, I think you only get that if you've passed speech checks with, like, Moore Brown and stuff.
Ha! Why do you think? I wanted to crack open that Commonwealth can opener to see what was inside. There's stuff in there I'd only heard about, and even then I didn't believe it. I can see why that Zimmer feller wanted him back so bad. Bunch of bleeding heart morons, if you ask me. They're going to get themselves killed one of these days. And for what? Machine liberation? But they have brought me some really interesting tech over the years, so I guess they're okay. And that android, he was the chance of a lifetime. Most of it's blasted nothing, just like here. But there's talk, rumors mostly, about a place called the Institute. That's where Zimmer and that android came from. God knows what else they got going on in there, but it puts our tech to shame, that's for damn sure. I live here. It's where I do my work. And it's far away from Dr. Lee and all those other monkeys dressed up like scientists. You made it past my defenses, which proves you aren't a dummy. And you haven't killed me. So I suppose you aren't here to do that. I suppose you can hang around if you want. Just don't touch anything. What? I have better things to do than yak about those backstabbers up topside. Now get going. Ha! Sounds like you've been poking around, all right. I'm surprised any of those reprobates even remember me. Maybe they still laugh about how they edged me out of the council back then. But you can set the record straight. For that, you have to go all the way back to when remnants of the Naval Research Institute cleared the Mirelurks off this wreck, about 40 years ago. We were looking for new lab space, and this bucket of bolts just happened to have a well-preserved science bay on it. Everything else just grew up around that lab once we got it up and running. The science team was led by one H. Pinkerton. That lasted until about 18 years ago, when those ambitious backbiters like Lee and her little team showed up. She came in with her big Purity Project pipe dream, and my whole staff started working with her, those traitors. She even took my seat on the council. By then, I was glad to leave it behind. And hell, if I'm leaving the city I made great. Of course I do. A good scientist always keeps track of their data. Here, they probably don't even remember, but I kept the records of that first council meeting. Take them, if it'll put them in their place.
Okay, that's what I was after. Getting all the stuff out of his computer. You can even get him to let you get back into character creation and redo your character if you don't like the way your character looks. But, okay, here's two thoughts. One is I had an original suspicion, and this was contrary to the wiki, and I know I'm nobody to argue with the wiki, but I'm just going by dialogue in the game, and I hate to think that the writers made a mistake like this, so I'm going to trust the game. And it's one of two things. Either that James grew up in Vault 101, left with one of the original scouting teams, maybe met up with the lady who was going to become your mother, right? and who may have been part of Dr. Lee's team or something along those lines. And then at the time of your birth, when, you know, mom passed away, he comes back to Vault 101, already being in contact with the Overseer because he was one of the original survey teams, maybe even had some, loose permission to stay out, you know, to work on this water purity project or something. Perhaps with some knowledge of the Overseer or something. I'm getting off into stuff that I couldn't possibly know, but just whatever. And then when we were born, Mother dies, he comes back to give us safe shelter. Or he was never in Vault 101. Perhaps he came from out east also with Dr. Lee's original group. Perhaps he was one of those, because there's also rumor that Dr. Lee came from, she's possibly a spy from the Commonwealth, or a scientist from the Commonwealth out here working on extending their, you know, whatever, coming out here with their science and finding a way to purify the water. She obviously didn't completely abandon the research, because when you go to the science bay here in Rivet City, you see irradiated, fresh carrots and fresh apples and things like that aren't radiated. Okay, and so there's something there. She's obviously continued some part of that work. They've had some limited success. But anyway, getting off track. Whether James was in Vault 101, and what I always fall back on is when you're talking to James, before he sends you off to take the goat, he says himself that he had to take the goat. Now, if it wasn't in Vault 101, then that means the goat is something standard for every vault. So let's say he came from another vault. But he came from a vault one way or another, apparently, because he said he had to take the goat. Unless he was just straight lying to your face, but it didn't really come across as BS. This came up with one of the viewers on a previous video where he was like, no, James didn't come from Vault 101. He met your mother, and then he talked the Overseer into being allowed into Vault 101 after we were born, and Mother died, you know, to give us safe shelter. All right. Either way, I think personally he was in Vault 101 and he was part of the original scouting team. Just doesn't really say as such. There may be something that specifically says that's not the case. And if that is, I stand corrected. I don't know. But that's just the suspicion. Either way, James specifically says that he took the goat too, so he has some vault upbringing. But what if it was a vault in the east? What if there's a link? What if it's Vault 111? Or something, and there's some tie-in to Boston. If there's any tie-ins, I'm sure they'll give it to us in some hidden holotape somewhere, something that you read on a computer, some little hints, evidence that you find in a random house somewhere, or in a vault that you're exploring, something in Fallout 4. I'm sure we'll see it.
Is there a problem? What's that supposed to mean? Look, kid, I don't have time for existential debate. And I'm not interested in whatever religion you're peddling. Excuse me? Look, kid, you have exactly 5 seconds to explain what you're trying to do here, or you'll be leaving Rivet City by the way of the nearest porthole. All right, I'll humor you. But this is impossible. I can't be a robot. I'm a human being. I breathe. I eat. Hell, I cut myself shaving this morning. I was bleeding. Robots don't bleed. I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to even think about all this. I'll admit this is pretty convincing evidence, but it doesn't make any sense. How can this be possible?
Okay, I think you only get this option if you've gotten the code.
Ah! My God. I remember. I remember it all. From before. Zimmer. The Commonwealth. The Institute. My God. All those runners I brought down. You made me remember. Why? How? Never mind. My God. What am I going to do? My life. Everything. It's all a lie. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shove him into a very small box and send him north where he belongs.
And I think that gives us this option right here. This one right here. This is the one we want.
He is a security threat, isn't he? All right. I authorize you to carry out Dr. Zimmer's execution. Don't think this gives you license to run around shooting anyone you want. Just Zimmer. And that bodyguard, if he gets in the way. Here, use my weapon. I've had it forever, and it's never let me down. Consider it a token of my appreciation. I don't know. Every time I retrieved one of the runaway androids, they'd fill my head with ideas about self-determination, freedom. At first, I resisted the ideas, but then I started thinking about it. And well, they were right. We're just slaves to them. We deserve lives of our own. So that's what I did. I chose a new life and gave up my old one. And now you've given me both to remember. I have two sets of memories. One android, one human. Some of these are mine. Some belong to someone else. But I'm choosing to be human. It's my choice. The people on this boat look to me to protect them. So that's what I'm going to do. Carry on then.
Who am I to judge? If you have the capacity to choose and you choose to do the right thing, shit, I'm not gonna knock it. I don't care if you're a machine or not. I'll just leave that up to the powers that be to work all that mess out. As long as you're trying to do the right thing, that's cool. If you're a robot on a murderous rampage, well, shit, it's time to put you down too. People the same way. Oh, you know what? Here's the hotel. There is an option for several speech checks here. You know what? Let me see if I can find Vera. Is that her right there?
Welcome to the
There she
Weatherly
is.
Hotel.
You don't look so tough.
Welcome to the Weatherly Hotel. I'm your hostess, Vera Weatherly. Well, I really shouldn't tell you, but have you heard about Polly Cantelli? He's addicted to chems. His poor wife, Cindy, is at her wit's end.
Okay, I'm not going to go through them all here.
Well, I could tell you all about my hotel, but I'm sure I don't know anything about how Rivet City itself got started. I mean, you hear rumors and you make guesses, but I really couldn't say I know for sure. And I'd hate to lead you down the wrong path. Well, if it'll help, I once heard that this place was covered in Mirelurks 50 years ago, raiding all around the city. Eventually, some poor soul they thought would be lunch fought back and cleared out the whole ship. He set up the city in their place. They say he was the first counselor for the upper deck and lived here to his death. Can't say I believe it a bit, but it's a nice tale to tell. Farewell.
I can get my speech up a little bit. Actually, your speech check chance goes up dramatically with your speech skill. You only need a speech of like, I don't know, like 40 or 50, I think, to get damn near 100% chance with her. She's quick to gossip, but it seems like she tells the truth. But she'll give you some clues to other little side quest busy stuff. There's a few things to do around Rivet City that aren't really relevant to the game, but just they add an interesting element to exploring this particular area, I guess you could say. Kind of like doing some random stuff around the hangar for the bombers in New Vegas. Same type of thing. You don't have to do a lot of it, but anyway.
The sooner you find my property, the sooner I can get out of this slum. Really, how do you people live like this? Harkness, you say? Yes, that makes sense. He used to work for a special branch of the Commonwealth Police, after all. And he's right here, in Rivet City? Excellent. I must wait, find an opportune moment to confront him. Thank you for your discreet assistance and continued discretion regarding this matter. And now for your payment. This combat module will directly affect your central nervous system. I think you will find it quite beneficial.
All right, and there we go. So essentially it's a wash. We lost there what we just gained by getting Harkness plasma rifle, which I have right here in my hand. And just, you know, out of respect for Harkness, I'm going to go ahead and do the honors with his gun. Holler at you. Oops. they tried to emulate this kill cam in New Vegas. Didn't work at all. Didn't work at all. New Vegas, it was glitchy and threw your camera all over the map and underground and doing loops, and sometimes it'd make me dizzy. I'd damn near fall out of my chair trying to follow the kill cam. In this one, it's all cinematic. I like it when you, sometimes when you shoot with your sniper and it almost does like the panoramic 360 of your bullet flying through the air, and then when it, you know, blows up somebody's face. I mean, well, that's badass. I love the kill cam in this. I wouldn't want to turn it off. In New Vegas, I run with it off completely. It tends to bug and glitch and even make the system freeze, and you know, and then when it is working, it still isn't working. So anyway, I don't play with it. They didn't do a very good job of replicating it. I kind of wish Bethesda had passed that along to them because it was a really good visual element in the game. It made combat kind of cool. And if you didn't feel like sitting through it, well, just, you know, free fire. Don't use VATS as much. Tends to come up, I guess, especially if you do a lot of criticals, you know, you tend to get some good kill cams and stuff. Pretty cool. Whatever the case. All right, I was gonna come.
Everything looks okay here.
Talking to Harkness A321 one more time. I guess he's not here. All right, so we'll go report back to Mora. So I don't know if you specifically have to download everything from the computer to give it to Mora, but I think you do. Kind of like the catalog cards from the library, the archives from the library when we go there, which won't be next, but the one after next. Next, I'm gonna head to Robco and just get that out of the way.
Dr. Lee and Bannon to discuss security matters. It's a waste of a good Monday morning, if you ask me. They should just let Chief Harkness call the shots.
But you have to download it and then you give it to her later. So I'm assuming you need to give her essentially a hard copy of Rivet City's history. Yeah, but we have the council notes and stuff like that. And so apparently, with Lee's team, Pinkerton got pushed out. I think that was when our dad fled the team to get us back to the vault to protect us.
Yes.
Dr. Lee essentially abandoned the project at the Jefferson Memorial and came to Rivet City and kind of pushed Pinkerton out when she arrived. But like I say, if she has some link to the Commonwealth and the Institute in some way, shape, or form, then that may give James, our dad, a link to the Commonwealth also. Maybe, assuming that's where James came from. Or James came from the vault. Either way, by his dialogue, I still say James came from some vault somewhere, which is going to be the case with most people anyway.
Any luck finding out how Rivet City got started? Aha! Not just as easy as asking around, was it? Good information takes real work to uncover after all. So, tell me all about it. Huh. I would have figured the science station came afterwards. Well, good to see genius get rewarded. A bit of smarts leads to a big reward, huh? Speaking of which, in thanks, have a few of these for the next time you've got to be quick on your wits. Oh, and I'll let the Rivet City traders know they'll be favorably mentioned in the book. You'll get a discount buying gear from them in the future.
See, these are good perks. These are good bonuses here for doing all this stuff.
I've got to do a section on working with old computer electronics. So there's some research to be done in the old Robco production facility. Also, there used to be a big library out there. Imagine a whole building full of books. I'll need you to gather information there for me. And that'll be it for the last chapter. So, what'll it be? It does, doesn't it? I mostly just deal with it after it's junked. But a trader gave me this Robco processor widget. He said it's worth a fortune. According to him, if it's connected to the mainframe in the Robco factory, you could have access to all the robots you'd ever want. Now that would be a great example of how to harness technology, wouldn't it? Yeah, you should just be able to plug it into the mainframe at the Robco production facility. It'll give you access to the robots and terminals. Okay, here. And be sure to keep an eye peeled for any other examples of how to make old technology work for you out there. The info you're bringing back is great. Looking forward to more.
All right. Well, one down, two to go. I'm going to go put up A321's plasma rifle. I won't be using it. Like I say, I did him the honors of taking care of Zimmer, but after that, I'll go ahead and put his gun up. Now, this is one of those items I would lay out in the house for decoration and stuff, but like I say, this may not be so much an issue with you PC guys, but for anyone who's played on Xbox or PS3, you'll know that once your file size starts to get pretty big, you tend to have problems with freezing. A lot of lagging. Your screen, you'll start dropping frame rates real bad, and then usually the screen hard saves. A lot of times, like when you're coming in and out of VATS, when you fast travel to an area, you get a black screen, and you'll get the little clock down there that never stops type of thing, because it can't load the next area. It's essentially frozen. Try to turn your system off, and it takes a minute to recuperate before it beeps and lets you know that some shit just went down. You know, that type of thing. Anyway, so keeping a lot of stuff in the inventory for the game to keep track of really bogs down the cache one way or another. So by not doing that, it saves the system a little trouble. All right, thanks for watching. You want to subscribe, click that button up top, and we will get off to Robco on the next one. All right, for the rest of this Let's Play, click that image there in the middle. All right, thanks for watching. Y'all take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.